Welcome back. And today we are going to wrap up the Lunar New Year celebration 2021, Year of the Ox, with a special dish which celebrates the Lantern Festival, which is what closes out the Lunar New Year celebration. So the signature recipe for the Lantern Festival is something called Tang Yuan. And Tang Yuan is a dumpling. As you all know, dumplings are a sign of prosperity and good luck because they often contain something precious, and in this case, tasty. So let's get started. These dumplings, unlike our other dumplings, use a rice flour. And this is called a glutinous rice flour, so it's a sticky rice flour. And it is, in fact, gluten-free, even though it has glutinous in it. The glutinous refers to that it's sticky. And you can pick this up in Asian restaurants, not restaurants, Asian markets. There we go. They probably have them in Asian restaurants too, but in Asian markets. So I'm going to put in about a half a cup of the flour, and we're going to use boiling water for this. And we're going to put in just a little bit at a time. The texture that we're going to want, whatever amount we use, we're going to want it to look like cooked couscous. So small pellets. So right now it's just flour. So we'll put that in there. We'll get this going. And we'll just put in just a little bit to start. It doesn't take much. You can see that just that little bit, which was maybe a couple tablespoons, was a little bit too much because it kind of brought it all together. So what I'll do is I'm going to put in a bit more. So we'll get that back to pellets. There, okay. So we're going to have to add a little bit more, but we're going to be really careful. So we're going to just go like a tablespoon at a time. Let that work its way in. It's getting close. You can kind of see it's getting, now it's kind of like uncooked couscous. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more, maybe a teaspoon. And we use hot water because what that does, it really kind of smooths the starch out. Remember, this doesn't have gluten in it, so it's not like wheat flour. Oh my! Look at that. We're going to end up with 4 pounds of flour. I'll just add a little bit more here. We'll go back in the other direction. That should do it. That's my prediction. So as you can see, the rice flour is not as absorbent as the wheat flour. There we go. So let me just get the sides here. All right. can see there's a little bit of wet flour there. And I'll get that one more time. So when I grab this flour, I should be able to just form it into a very smooth, soft dough that does not stick to my fingers. So let me just grab that. So so here it is. So here's our dough. Now it's not elastic the same way that you would have wheat flour, but it's soft and it's nice and warm. So what we're going to do is we'll make some dumplings here. I'm going to break these into some balls. I'm going to put this so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to put it into a plastic bag. So, making the dumplings. The filling in this case is going to be a sweet sesame paste. And you can buy this in Asian markets. You can order it online as well. You can also make your own. And basically what you would do is you would, into the processor, you would put in sesame seeds and some sugar and then some type of fat. So butter or lard or tallow is what you would use. So this is a sweet, oily mix, basically, of seeds. So I've squeezed, I only got 3. So what I do when I get the bag, I just cut this corner off and I just squeeze out what I want. And then I form them into these balls, just like that. So the dough balls should be a little bit larger than the filling. And what we do is we take the filling and we form it into a bowl with the tops of the bowls. The rim of the bowl should be thinner than the rest. You'll see why in a minute. But we form a bowl. Then we place our filling into the bowl, and then we gather the sides of the bowl right around and pinch that closed. There we go. Now if the rim of the bowl was too thick, this part that we're gathering together would be too thick. So then what we want to do is just roll that, just like that. So we'll fill this one, forming the bowl, just going right around, making the rim thin. There we go. Put our filling in. I'm just using my thumb to keep the filling in. Just gather that right around. And we'll roll that. And one more time. And while I'm doing this, I have some broth heating up. We're going to boil these. And you can use a sweet broth or a savory broth. And the traditional is the sweet broth. And the broth that's usually used is something called the osmanthus flour. And I couldn't find any osmanthus flour. So I'm going to use a savory broth, which is just a half-strength beef broth from Better Than Bouillon, which is a company that I like to use. So we'll just pinch these. There we go. Make sure they're all in there. We'll roll this. And this is boiling, which is what we want. And you want these to boil for about 5 minutes. Oops. It may crack a little bit if it's drying out. That third one, because it was sitting there, it's drying out a little bit. But we've got them in there, and what we'll do is we'll drop these guys in, and I'm going to crank up the heat a little bit. Whoa! There we go. And we're going to put these guys in. And I just want to make sure that they don't stick together or stick on the bottom. So I'll just move them apart and just make sure they're not on the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to show you another filling. So that was a sweet filling. I'm going to show you a savory filling. And it'll take me about 5 minutes to do that. So let me start. I'm going to start by reworking my dough a little bit. There we go. So let's put this in here. And there we go. Maybe just a little bit, maybe a teaspoon. Will not get carried away, he said, as he got carried away. That's good. All right. So let's grab this out of here. And I'm going to use my processor to make the savory filling. All right. So let's just get that. There we go. All right. So the savory filling is pretty simple. I'm going to put in some coleslaw. You can use, any kind of vegetables that you might have. Some mushrooms. Let me just, I'll just break it up. There we go. A little bit of ground meat. In this case, I'm going to use some ground turkey that I have. This is good with seafood, like shrimp would be good. All right. And if you want to go vegetarian, you could put in some crumbled tofu. That'd be fine. And for some flavoring, I'm going to put in some hoisin sauce. Oh, actually, this is not hoisin sauce. This is char siu sauce. It's sweeter than hoisin sauce. And just maybe like a tablespoon of that. There we go. All right. And we're going to pulse this up. Let's mix that up. sides. I'm just trying to kill time so my 5 minutes goes up. Must be getting close. Nice. So let's make a couple of these dumplings. Let's check those over here. So you can see they're getting shiny. They're just about done. Another minute or so. So let's make a few of these guys. Savory dumplings. Let's see, bag. Alright. So make a circle, or a ball rather. We'll push down. Make a bowl. Make that lip thin so it can gather around. All right. And let's put in some filling. Whoa. I got too much there. All right. And we'll push that in, and then we'll gather that right around. Whoops. Whoa. Put in a little bit too much. Let me just grab that. There we go. And then we'll roll that. Let's do another one here. Roll our ball. Make a bowl. There we go. I'm not putting quite so much. Filling it, pinch, roll that one closed, and I think we're going to stop there because I think our sweet dumplings are done. Thank you very much. All right. So let's get these guys out. There we go. And what we could do is we could just grab a little bit of broth here. That'll be good. Meanwhile, I'll put these dumplings in. I'll have something to eat after the session is over. All right. So first, I'm going to taste this broth. Yum, slightly sweet. All right. So let's do this. Very tender, very sweet. I'll do it one more time. So there you have it, Tang Yuan for the Lantern Festival, ending the Lunar New Year celebration. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.